In this one, we're going to be ranking the most attractive muscles starting with Diddy tier to goatess tier. So let's start with neck. I think this one will be Diddy tier. I don't know about you, but I think the most attractive kind of guy is one that does have those youth indicators and health indicators, but also has high dimorphism. Personally, I think this is the most important muscle. Barely anyone trains it. You never see anyone at the gym training it. People say they want to train it at home because they think it's cringe to train it at the gym, but then nobody actually trains at home because it's not convenient. So it's a muscle that is extremely attractive. In my opinion, probably the most important since it's always visible and it's the easiest way to increase your dimorphism, but barely anyone trains it. I think it deserves the spot in S tier. Next up, biceps. So this one, I don't know if I should put it either here or here. I think I'm gonna put it at Diddy tier. The last time I was on dating apps, there were so many women writing in their bios pretty much saying, please have big biceps, or I'm waiting for a guy with big biceps. There were just so many. And to me, what that showed is I was underestimating how important they are. Of course, that's not a study, but it is a very dimorphic muscle. If you see a woman with big biceps, it's going to look off. You're going to think that she looks very masculine. So it is a very dimorphic muscle on men, and it is extremely attractive to women, especially women that are fit and lift. So I'm going to put it at Diddy tier. Next one, traps. So I think this one is actually pretty underrated. A lot of people skip them, but you can tell when people skip them. It doesn't look proportional, it doesn't look balanced. And the traps are one of the easiest ways to increase dimorphism. So I think the traps are extremely important, as well as it's balanced with the rest of the physique. I wouldn't worry about getting too big traps unless you abuse steroids and you train them too much. But overall, I think it's pretty underrated. Not a lot of people train them, but they are extremely important for a balanced physique. Next up, the adductors. I think for women this is fine, but for men this is goatess tier. Sometimes I see men training it and I don't see the point. They're not going to increase your dimorphism, and we have better exercises when it comes to the legs. Maybe there are some functional benefits that I'm not aware of, but I don't think this is going to make you have a more attractive shape as a man. So this one is going into goatess tier. Next up, calves. I think they're pretty underrated as well. A lot of people tend to skip them. But if you have small calves, it can make your physique look disproportional and unbalanced. So having calves that are developed, as well as the rest of the physique, of course, is pretty important. Overall, I think calves are pretty underrated, so I'm going to put them here. Next up, side delts. Obviously, Diddy tier. They improve your V-taper, they improve your frame, although they don't improve your frame as much as people claim them to. But the delts are one muscle that you cannot get too much. They cannot be too developed. Even guys that take steroids, their delts are not too much. You can have too much of things like quads, traps, stuff like that. Overall, your delts cannot get too big, and side delts are definitely S tier, in my opinion. Next one, abs. I don't think this one is a good example, but I think overall, they're going into Diddy tier. And having abs is not even the biggest benefit of being lean, it's actually to have a lean face. But having abs and being lean overall is obviously going into Diddy tier. Next one, rear delts. So I'm going to put this one into Diddy tier. They're pretty underrated. I don't see many people training them. But if you want that 3D delt look, then you must train them. A lot of people already do push movements, meaning that they are training their front delts, but then they have their rear delts underdeveloped. So I think it deserves Diddy tier. Next one, obliques. I personally don't target the obliques. I just train abs normally. So I'm going to put this one at goatess tier because I don't think you should target it. Next one, lats. I'm not sure if I should put it here or here. I think it's going into Diddy tier because the studies show all the time that a V-taper is attractive for men. So that's the reason. And also, when you flex your lats, your delts, they stand out more. So you can actually fraud your frame a little bit by flexing your lats. So bigger lats will actually increase your frame. So overall, I think I'm going to leave them in Diddy tier. Next one, upper back. I think really important. They're going to increase dimorphism. It's going to increase back thickness. With this one, you want to prioritize horizontal rows. So horizontal pulls in general is probably not as important for the V-taper as the lats. So I'm going to put them one tier below, but they're extremely important and you should train them. A lot of people only train the lats and they don't have horizontal pulls, and that's a mistake. You need both the vertical and the horizontal pulls if you want a developed back. Next up, upper chest. I think really important. I definitely don't think it's as important as stuff like the neck or even delts. However, they are extremely important, so I'm going to put them one tier below. This is how you fraud great insertion genetics. It's by training the upper part of the chest, at least when it comes to the chest insertions. Next one, front delts. So if this video was about which muscles to target, it would be either here or here. However, because it's about attractive muscles, I think I'm going to put it here. However, I don't think you should target them directly. because if you do a lot of push movements, you are already targeting the front delts. So I'm going to put them here just because they're part of the delts. And I think the delts are S tier when it comes to attractiveness. But I don't think necessarily that you should target the front delts in isolation. I think you should target them indirectly in push movements, which you're already doing. In most cases, it's very rare that someone gets underdeveloped front delts after becoming very strong in push movements. So S tier because of the muscle, but if it was a priority list, it would be down here. Next one, spinal erectors / lower back. I think this one's going to be here. Extremely underrated when it comes to back aesthetics. And when it comes to posture, it's S tier. These muscles are extremely important. Everyone should train spinal erectors, not just for posture, but also for aesthetics. So if you're not doing spinal erector curls, then you should absolutely start doing them. Next one, mid and lower pecs. I think also extremely important, and having a bigger chest will give the illusion that you have a narrower waist as well. But overall, I'm not saying you should look like Arnold, but having a developed chest is definitely pretty attractive, and getting strong on push movements, for example, bench press, inclined dumbbell press, etc. I think it's pretty important when it comes to aesthetics. Next one, brachialis. So I'm going to put in the same rank as the biceps. Again, arms are dimorphic and you should try to maximize them. It's extremely difficult to be overdeveloped when it comes to the arms, unless you're using grams and grams and grams of gear, which is not going to be the case for probably none of you, unless you're competing at the highest levels. Next one, glutes. So this one I think is actually pretty important and pretty underrated. You see a lot of women doing hip thrusts, however, men should do them too. And this one has benefits when it comes to posture and also fighting. So if you want to be a better fighter, or just have better posture in general, or even just have a better physique, a more harmonious physique, then glutes are important. Next one, hamstrings. Again, they are important. You need them for a balanced physique. If you have chicken legs, whenever you don't wear pants, you're going to look uncanny and basically throw off the entire aesthetic. So you need to train those. Next, quads. Also, I think they're important. Of course, this one is an extreme example. You're not going to look like this unless you're abusing gear and you have top 0.001% genetics like Tom Platz. If you don't like the look of big legs, you can still train them, but you can train them with lower volume than you do upper body. But you still need to train legs for a balanced physique, and that's the point. That's why I'm putting them at important. Next one, forearms, pretty important. They're always visible. Not as important as neck, which is why neck is number one. The rest, to be honest, is not in order, but I think forearms are extremely important when it comes to male dimorphism. And finally, triceps. And I think I'm going to put it at Diddy tier. Whenever people tell you that triceps don't matter or that triceps are male guys, they always use extreme examples. They use examples of guys that look disproportional, guys that are on gear and abusing it. But in 99.9% of cases, training your triceps will increase your dimorphism and it will make your physique more attractive. In the end, you kind of need to train almost everything. Whenever people tell you to skip muscles, they give you extreme examples, usually genetic outliers that are on gear, for example, when it comes to the quads, etc. But in real life, training these muscles will increase your aesthetics. As long as you're balanced and harmonious, when it comes to your muscle development, it's going to be a net positive towards your aesthetics. So the ones that I have in Diddy tier are the neck, the shoulders, the arms, forearms, and abs, as well as your lats. And I think that's accurate. I think those muscles are more important. Does that mean you should ignore everything else? No, you should still train the rest. But if you want to look dimorphic, I think arms, delts, lats, and neck are probably more important than the rest. But then again, don't ignore stuff like legs, for example, just because they're lower on the list. Because in the end, you still need to train them if you want a balanced and harmonious physique, even if it's very low volume. That being said, that's pretty much it. Let me know where you disagree. And yeah, if you watch this video until the end, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.